Good morning, good looking people, and you're good looking because you're always looking, and of course, finding the good in everything. I hope you had a wonderful week and a successful week. Today's Hayom Yom is very interesting, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what is the angle, what is the message that we can take from this Hayom Yom. I read it inside, I learned it, I listened to Chabad.org with Rabbi Moshe Steiner and Rabbi Friedman, and then eventually had a conversation as well with Rabbi Zines on what we can take from today's Hayom Yom. So let me read the Hayom Yom today and the message inside, and then I'm going to give something over that I think we can all apply to ourselves, which is very, very meaningful. So today's Hayom Yom for the 20th of Sivan. My revered grandfather, the Rebbe Maharash, used to say, the intellectual and emotional structure of a chassid mirrors his first yichidus, which was his first private audience with his Rebbe. The first yichidus, or this private audience, reflects the chassid's essential nature. The path in the divine service that the Rebbe gives the chassid at the time corresponds to the essential nature. So first, to just go over the Hayom Yom itself. So every chassid would meet with the Rebbe on their first, and at his first private audience, the Rebbe, through vast knowledge of Torah and Ruach HaKodesh, was able to look at every chassid and give them a path and a direction. And no two chassidim had the same direction. They could have come in with the same question, but maybe they both came home with different answers. And what Rabbi Zine said this morning, which was I think a great angle and how to look at this, is today we are constantly asked questions by friends or asked for advice. And he mentioned a good rabbi knows how to answer a good question with answering the person without necessarily answering that question, meaning you have to understand what the question is or what that person is really asking for when they come over and ask you this question or whatever they may need. Just because some advice worked for you in particular on some objective matter doesn't mean that's going to be the right advice for that person. So in order to really give somebody real advice or give them a good suggestion, you really need to understand who that person is and be where they're coming from and understand what they're really asking from you. So that when they ask you this question or this advice, you need to process it properly and then make that suggestion or that give them that advice from a different place, not from you per se, but answering them to them, understanding really what their scenario is. So I know it's complex, but the idea really is that before we jump to answer somebody or just shoot out an answer to a question or somebody's scenario, we should really try to understand what is the reason they're coming with that question. Try to understand them better. Spend a little bit more time to get to know them, what's going on. And therefore, when you give them that advice or that suggestion, just like when the Rebbe would answer any of these Hasidim with a path, that he really understood them in particular and individually. And then he gave that advice as we should as well, if in our own relationships. So have a wonderful day, have a great Shabbos, and spend a little time thinking a little bit more before you jump to answers, to answer somebody. Really, what are they asking you? And with that in mind and being conscious of that, you should be able to deliver a more meaningful answer to that person. Have a great day and a good Shabbos. We'll speak on Sunday.